Okay, you guys, I think it's time we review the Force 58s. I skated these for about a month and they were a surprising shoe. I was not crazy about them at first. They grew on me and I have some good and some bad things to say about them. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get right to it. So the fit. The fit was different than any other Nike that I've ever owned. I would say it actually felt like it ran a quarter size small. So I would not say to size up or down when you buy it, get your normal size, but they did feel tight. And for about 3 days, it kind of hurt, but they did stretch. So for that reason alone, I probably wouldn't buy them again because I just don't think I should have to feel any pain at any point in the life of a skate shoe. But yeah, that's how it fit me. I also would say they fit just slightly wider than most Nikes tend to, at least in this part of the foot. It was, you know, your typical kind of narrow around the arch and heel. No heel slip at all. So, you know, when your foot's in there, it's locked in, it's not sliding off. And in terms of the feel of the shoe, I would say the sole feels really hard and isn't all that grippy. Now, because I usually ride fairly new boards, it wasn't a big problem, but you can also see that it wasn't the most durable sole, which kind of fits with a shoe that is like hard and not too grippy. It's the kind of thing that I imagine just wears down really quickly on grip tape. The overall durability wasn't too bad. It did start to get, you know, like most shoes that have this piece that wraps around here, I don't know the technical names, but it started to get the split right there. So I did have to shoe glue it fairly early on, and I had to shoe glue around this stitching because that was letting go really early. The feel and look of these, I would not say is particularly premium. It kind of seems like that sort of like cheap Nike look, the same way Air Force One looks. That's obviously what they were going for with the whole Force 58 all white basic bro shoe. So that's the fit and durability. But one of the best things about these shoes, and there is some actual good things. The flick, both kick flips and heel flips, was perfect, brand new, and stayed good the entire time. I'm not lying, and I'm not the biggest Nike fans, but these literally had the best flick, again, for both kick flips and heel flips that I've had in ages. It was precise, and it could also lift. And you don't always get both of those things in the same shoe. A lot of the time, say with like a vulcanized shoe with thick rubber, you can get a lot of lift out of the shoe, but you can't get a precise kickflip. Something about the shape of the toe on this shoe was giving me precise kickflips with lift, brand new, zero break-in time. And it was pretty good throughout the life of the entire shoe. Probably the most controlled kickflip that I have had in a long time. And the heel flips were the exact same. Something about the shape of this heel and where it hits the rubber and exactly how much there is gave me kind of perfect heel flips. And same with for all my 180 flip tricks. Like I would say I felt kind of the most consistent and precise that I have felt in a long time in this shoe for just my flat ground. Because there are some things about it that I didn't like that much, and that is that the heel feels thick and tall in the back and the sole feels very stiff. So even though I was able to do my tricks quite precisely in a way, I didn't have good board feel in these shoes, and I really noticed that when it came time for transition and ledges. That's where it started to bother me. I just always felt like my heel was too high and I couldn't feel my board in this whole area of my foot. So that was the downside to this shoe. The other thing is because the sole was stiff, what I tended to notice is, I've got this theory, you guys, that a stiff sole gives you more pop because you're not losing so much energy. When your shoe flexes over the board, when you're kicking down really hard, if you have a soft sole, I think you lose a lot of the energy of your snap in the flexing of the shoe. But if you have a stiff shoe, I think it transfers into the board more directly. I noticed personally that I had more pop in this shoe than I usually do. So far it's seeming pretty darn good, and I would almost be willing to endure the 3 days of pain just to get the really crisp and responsive flicks of this shoe. But there's one thing that I'm really not crazy about, and can you guys see how much that heel tapers? I don't trust that shape. The fact that it gets narrower down here at the bottom makes me feel like this is going to be an unstable shoe in the heel and is going to be more likely to turn over. Kind of the way an Adidas shell toe can do, the Superstars. They have a narrow, kind of tall and sharp heel that, in my opinion, is at a bigger risk of turning an ankle. So that's my personal opinion. Maybe we would be sacrificing those perfect heel flips if we widened the bottom of this heel, but that's what I would do as a designer. You know, I think that having a skate shoe have the bottom here be quite narrow is kind of sketchy. However, most of the time when you roll your ankle, you actually roll it off the toe, so you're not as likely to roll it on the heel, but I still just don't like that design. That's the one thing that made me like, I don't want to jump down any stairs in these shoes. I don't want to do anything too risky. I'm just going to skate ledges and flat ground. I had zero problems with ever turning over my heel or my ankle, but it's just not a design feature that I like. So that's my feeling about the Force 58s. I think they are actually a pretty darn good skate shoe, with board feel being one of the downsides. So that's been a whole lot of talking, and if you've suffered through all that, here's a session in these shoes, hopefully highlighting some of the benefits of them. Yeah, nice. And because you guys waited so patiently through all that talking in the beginning, here's a little more skating that I did in these shoes. This is some skating that I did just cruising around the city of Istanbul with my son in Turkey. So here's that stuff. Oh, hello.
Let's get an album.
How's it going? Hello. 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 You guys, I don't know how, but like everything grinds around here. no wax. Like, explain that to me. How does that grind?